Well, hello there. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in today. It's Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you on EWTN Radio. I am Jerry Usher along with Debbie Georgiani. And as we say you are the ones who make the show what it is every day. We're about a month away from having been on the air for 9 years with Take Two. And it's all because of you, the Take Two family. Right, Deb?
Oh, don't get me starting to get emotional. I absolutely love the Take Two family, and to think that we've gotten to journey with them for almost 9 years. I mean, here we go. I'm going to get emotional because every June I think about this and all the friendships we've made and everybody that has just grown in their faith, and they love the topics that they suggest, that we put forth. And there's so much I can say about it, Jerry. The Take Two family is very special.
Well, we hope that you'll join us today. I'll give you the number, and then we will set the table with today's topic, 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. We always like to put questions and topics out there that are pertinent to our everyday lives, and we know that today's topic will be, because, Debbie, we all have people that we trust to some degree or another. But today, dear family, Take Two family, we want to know, who is it that you trust the most, and why do you trust them the most in your life? 833-288-3986.
Well, we should definitely trust God above all things, all people and all things, right? Because God wants all of us and all of our trust. And that's why, Divine Mercy, I love it so very much, Jerry. Jesus, we trust in you. It's all about trusting God and his promises, and we know that, and that is wonderful. But trusting people on this earth, that could be a whole nother story, because, people make mistakes. They're, what do I say? They have their issues, and they can betray that trust, and that becomes really difficult. But who do you trust the most? Maybe there are those people that really have stepped up, and you just admire them so very, very much, and you put a lot of trust in them, and they've never disappointed you, and that is wonderful. Maybe it's your parents, your spouse, your children. I mean, it goes on and on. So many things we can say about this, but we really need your call. Matt Kabinski's waiting to answer the call. Please dial in 833-288-3986.
Well, trust is a very precious commodity, and as Debbie, you alluded to there, it can be betrayed at times, and we probably all experienced that. But we want to hear today the good of the good, the bad, and the ugly. We want to hear about the good. Who is somebody that you can pick up the phone, you can text, you can have lunch with, you can maybe maybe it's a coworker, it could be your spouse. Maybe you have that beautiful relationship with your spouse, and he or she is the one that you trust the most. Who is that person for you? And explain a little bit why that is. You don't have to go into detail of the things that you share, but just, you can say, like, that person has always been there for me, or they understand me, or they welcome me, leaning on them, sharing what's going on in my life with them. 833-288-3986. Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you. Who is it that you trust the most? A mere mortal. Debbie referenced God.
Mere mortal,
and Jesus, I trust in you. But what mere mortal do you trust the most? 833-288-3986.
That was well put. So I wanted to just share this with all of the Take Two family, only because some of you may have heard me speak about this morning. But Jerry, and I was talking with you earlier before the show. This is just really has hit me. Jerry, I'm a little bit of a news junkie, right? That I love to catch the news and, keep up to date and up to speed with the church and the world. Okay. But certain news stories, some just hit me in a way that it hits me so deeply that I struggle with it all day long, because for some reason, it just kind of connects the dots with what's going on with the rise of demonic activity in the world. And I'm sure that a lot of our listeners heard that the little 10-year-old boy in Indiana on Tuesday died by suicide after he had spent a long time being bullied at school and on the school bus, and so much so that I guess parents went to the authorities at the school over like 15, 18 times, and this little boy obviously was driven to the point where he just needed to be at peace, and this just breaks my heart. But what happened afterwards is, now that the story has gone, worldwide, now that the funeral happened, and there was a gigantic motorcade of everybody coming out of support for the family, for this little Sammy Touche in Indiana. And I just wanted to say, I think about that and I see the pictures of the motorcade and the motorcycles and everybody driving and paying their respects. And that's beautiful for the family. But wouldn't it have been nice if that little boy who had trust in the adults that were caring for him and protecting him at school and everything, wouldn't it have been nice if that little boy had experienced that kind of love while he was alive, rather than, now after he passed, everybody comes out and feels bad. And that's human nature. I understand that people, and we do want to pay the respects. And I understand that the parents are now making comments, and it's just heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking for a 10-year-old to die by suicide.
Mm-hmm. It is. Our prayers for his soul and all of those involved, especially his family. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's a good tie-in there. Definitely an area where trust should be given and realized, experienced. 833-288-3986. Who is someone in your life that you can trust implicitly? You just know that the person is going to maintain a confidence if you share deep stuff with him or her. Mm-hmm. Maybe it is. Maybe it was a teacher for you when you were in school, or maybe you are in school right now. Mm-hmm. Could be your doctor, your spiritual director, your confessor, your spouse, your best friend. Tell us who it is that you trust the most, and a little bit why that is. Again, don't have to go into details of things you share, but there are people listening all the time to this show. We say it every day, that you are going to impact lives, because there are people, Debbie, I'm sure, listening who go, I don't have anybody I can trust, and so maybe something that you the Take Two family you share today is going to really give somebody hope that they can find that confidant in their lives. 833-288-3986.
Again, Matt Kabinski's at the phones today. Charles Berry's at the controls. Michael McCall is on social media, and Jerry's waving to everybody getting the chats going there. You can put the person you trust right there in the chat. We'll weave it into the discussion, but we really would love to hear your voice. So if you would dial in, you don't have to be Catholic to call in. Who do you trust the most? I can share, Jerry. I trust God the most. Absolutely. It's God above all. But then Marty, of course. I trust Marty, my husband. 833-288-3986. Please call us here on your show, Take Two, with Jerry and Debbie and you.
Family, during each day of May, let us sing the Magnificat with Mary. And let us begin each day by greeting her, our travel companion. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Help me to experience this day the Lord's nearness to me through you.
She is one of the most beloved saints of all time, honored as the Saint of the Little Way.
Matthew Bunsen and the Doctors of the Church.
Saint Thérèse of Lisieux entered the Carmelite convent of Lisieux in 1888 and survived only 9 more years. Still, her extraordinary holiness and prayer life prompted her superiors to have her write an autobiography, The Story of a Soul. It became a spiritual classic.
To find out more, visit EWTN.com and click on Catholicism.
Hi, this is Father Mike Schmitz. Please join me for Ascension's Bible in a Year and Catechism in a Year here on EWTN Radio. We're going through the entire Bible and the Catechism in 365 days. If you've ever wanted to understand what it means to be Catholic and allow those truths to shape your life, this is for you.
Bible in a Year and Catechism in a Year with Father Mike Schmitz, tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on EWTN Radio.
Through redemptive Catholic journalism, EWTN News helps advance the gospel and teachings of the Church. Get our trusted Catholic news in your email inbox. Sign up today at EWTNnews.com.
We are talking about trust today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you. A lot of you have joined us already with some things to share. We have one open phone line. You'll be in the first group of callers here if you grab that line right now at 833-288-3986. If you're on the line, hold on, because you're going to be up first in a moment. But first I want to tell you that the EWTN Pro-Life Pulse is your weekly recap of the top pro-life headlines moving our nation and world the mainstream media missed. You can visit EWTN.com/pro-life today and sign up and stay connected to the EWTN Pro-Life Pulse.
Okay, we do have an open phone line for you, so please dial in and share with us who you trust the most, or maybe, like Jerry said, maybe you struggle with finding somebody, or maybe that person you had in your life you trusted, and it was your confidant, your go-to person, and that person has passed away. We can share that as well and talk about that, because that's important to remember those folks that have had an impact on our lives and have moved on into eternal life. So the number to dial is 833-288-3986. Jerry, can you share, are you able to share who you trust the most?
I've thought about this a lot, and it's got to be my spiritual director, and that's
Nice.
yeah, it's probably not surprising, but he's a priest, and it's that relation. It's a beautiful. You were a spiritual director, and you've been in spiritual direction.
Yeah.
You know just how precious that relationship is, and so yeah, that's probably who it would be for me. What about you?
That's wonderful. Yeah, I would say you just jogged my memory. Yeah, spiritual director. I have a couple. Yes, very much so. But Marty. Well, it was my mom. My mom. You know how much I adored my mom. My mom and I were so close, and she passed away in August 2021, and so that was hard. But Marty, of course, Marty is. We're like two peas in a pod. It's really amazing how it's funny because we grew up, it's so similar with our Italian heritage, background. And it's so interesting because we have so many things that I almost feel like, in a way, he's sometimes like a brother. We don't have a relationship like that. We have a husband and wife relationship, but I feel like he's like a brother, like we've known each other for many years.
Sure.
So that's always makes it more comfortable when you have to lean on somebody to trust.
Yeah, good. What about you, Take Two family? 833-288-3986. Christine called in first in Harvard, Illinois, and listening on WSFI. Hi, Christine. Hello, Christine, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, good.
How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us today. How are you?
Delightful.
Good.
My husband and I have been married for 30 years. I was younger. He was a drill sergeant. So that was a little different. We both had different ideas, okay? Now we've mellowed into this nice casserole of love and a godly ways, and faith. It took a while, and I just wish that young people today could talk to their elders and people to understand that it is a melting pot of beliefs, and especially if you're young, you've got this fire, brimstone type of attitude, and then as time goes on, you have to mesh. And I was telling your screener that we do a lot of antiquing, and a lot of the elders have been married for 50, 60 years. And you can ask them. They're wonderful because they've been around the block so many times. And sometimes if it's just a general person that you know is a good person and is God-fearing and faithful, that they give you life help. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because sometimes when you're out and about, they really can help you. And I just wanted to share that a lot of the elders that we deal with have helped us through so much, and of course God, but and they're happy too to open up and share.
Well, Christine, we're so glad that you called, and I hear what you're saying. I can definitely relate to it. It seems like certain hobbies or activities and so forth bring like-minded people together, like you're saying, and there's just this real openness to want to share a knowledge of, like you said, antiquing in your case, and to pass on the wisdom and the things that they have learned and all of that. But I just really was struck by your phrase. Did you say casserole of love? You and your husband have melded into this casserole of love. Is that how you put that?
Yes, and that's what it is, because it's a little bit of this, a little bit of this. Maybe you don't like that, but I like this, and that's what we have to be is in our faith and love, and especially with your husband or wife, a casserole of devotion and faith, and it just helps that we're all meshed together. And when you phrase it as a casserole, it's less threatening than some of the other terms that people use, especially for young people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Christine, I love that term casserole too. Well, mainly because, as I shared right before you came on air with us, my husband and I are both from an Italian background, and we love food, so casserole works for us. And so I think that's very creative. I love how you absorb that and how you share it with all of us. That's, if we can borrow that, I think that's wonderful. But Christine, any other kind of life skills tips that you can impart? Anything else?
I hate to say this, but young women or women in general need to learn how to make a couple dishes, cook, like a few. Like, I'm just putting this out there. Sausage and potatoes and onions, sauerkraut, or tuna noodle, or macaroni and cheese. I think that when their husbands come home, that is one of the basic things that they need to know. And when you break bread at the table with your loved one, your husband, your kids, even if it's for a half an hour, 20 minutes, that's what makes the difference. And I do feel that the young women of today are lacking that knowledge. Maybe it's because of a career or whatever, but maybe if they did it with the kids the night before, lasagna, or, even if they bought a TV dinner and raviolis and sauce and garlic bread tomorrow, something like that. I think breaking bread over the table and saying grace diffuses everybody, and then they can go on with their evening. But I think that that's so important to share, a dinner together, talk about your day. I think that opens up a lot. And then, of course, saying, before you eat, the prayer. And, I think that just dials the kids down, maybe even the women down a little bit, to know you feed your husband, happy wife, happy life. You got to feed your husband. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is.
Wow. Yeah, good.
It's old school. I mean, it's old school.
Well, it's old school, but look what Jesus did. He dined for hours when he ministered, right? So food brings people together. It allows people to relax. It's an essential part of how we live. This human experience is to eat, and so you're right. And to gather around table, that's very important. So you're basically saying no standing up at the kitchen counter eating and or watching TV with TV trays, right, Christine?
And you, being Italian, that meeting place on Sundays, or the big dinners, or meals itself. I don't care if it's spaghetti. I don't care if it's whatever. Garlic bread, a salad. The kids can help make the salad. And it's just so important to break bread together and pray and be thankful for what we have and how far we've made it.
Right. Couldn't agree more. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure we've done this topic before, but Christine, I just made a note. I'm gonna put it on the show calendar. Talk about family meals, if people still have that weekly family meal or even nightly. So Christine, thank you. You've contributed to this show and given us a future show topic. God bless you. Have a wonderful day, and enjoy that the casserole of love. It sounds like a great recipe for success in a marriage. Thank you. 833-288-3986. Who is it you trust the most in life, and why do you feel like you can place that trust in that individual? 833-288-3986.
And I just wanted to say, Jerry, we had the prayer show yesterday. It was very active and it was wonderful, and the Take Two family is really taking on the prayers and continuing. And we just got a message that they wanted me to add Sammy to the prayer book, the Take Two family prayer book, the little boy who died by suicide. I already did this morning, so we've got him in the prayer book.
Okay, praise God, man.
And his family.
All the prayers we can get, what a horrible situation. All right, Ann in Buffalo is listening on the Station of the Cross and calling into our program about trust today. Hi, Ann, welcome.
Hi, I just wanted to say I live near Father Baker's. I don't know if you know Father Baker's, OLV, in Lackawanna, New York. And my mom actually met him and gave him a bouquet when she was 5. But we were kind of a close-knit family with aunts and all that. And I had a dear aunt, Agnes, Agnes, that was there for everybody. She used to cart kids to practice, and she just went well above and beyond. And I was just so grateful. She always used to bless herself before she left the driveway in the car, and I find myself still doing that. But anyway, it's just it's something good to remember, and I think people need to go the extra mile, do something, because you just do something for somebody, because you're never really going to know where they're at or what they're going through. And I've been going through chronic illness. I have a leg wound that won't heal, and doctors can't do anything. And I'm worried about it. Recently, I had a dream of my aunt coming and hugging me, and it was like so real. And I just loved her to pieces, and I will remember her forever. And she was just very inspirational, very prayerful.
Beautiful. Yeah. And can I ask a question about the leg wound? Are you what are you doing spiritually to try to heal that? I'm just curious.
Well, I prayed. I read about all the saints, and I struggle to pray. It's like my mind is all over the place. I'll start to say a Hail Mary, and it's like everywhere else, and I just can't finish. And I don't know what's wrong with me sometimes.
Well, you maybe something else. Well, maybe something else is on your mind. Maybe ask your guardian angel to help you with that, or to step in and help you with that. Also too, with the leg wound, have you thought about having a relic? It doesn't have to even be first class relic. It's just a relic. It could be a third class relic, and put it where you sleep, because you spend the most time sleeping. And so put the relic or the prayer card that's a relic, maybe under your mattress or near your bed, because that's where you spend the most time resting. Have you thought about that?
I have a relic badge from Father Solanus Casey under my pillow.
Perfect.
And I do that. And unless there's somebody else you could recommend.
No, that's excellent. That's excellent. Yeah, no. Do you have a go-to saint besides Solanus Casey? Excellent. It's excellent. Go ahead.
Padre Pio.
I thought so. Okay. I knew it. Yeah. Do me a favor, get a Padre. I knew it. I actually wrote it down right before. It's so funny how Padre Pio works. I'm telling you, Anne. Get a prayer card that has been touched to something of Padre Pio's. You probably could locate. You could just call around, and somebody might even have one in your neighborhood or your parish, and borrow it. You can just put it in a Ziploc bag and ask Padre Pio to step in. Would you do that?
I will do that. And then I have one other question about guardian angels. Families are so divided, and your family members have left the church. And is it okay to rally up the guardian angels to inspire these people?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, yeah. Jerry and I, we chuckle at this, because if we could peek on the other side of the veil, there's a whole network working on our behalf. And the network is all the guardian angels, and so yes. In answer, we are. It's pleasing to God when we acknowledge how God has set up this very massive network on this side of the veil and on the other side of the veil. So yes, please do so and ask them to help out and put people in their path. And, the guardian angels want to do their mission well, because they are in the beatific vision. They're beholding the face of God. So anytime we acknowledge their mission, we are actually empowering them to do more.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're doing this a lot already, but you mentioned Father Nelson Baker. I know his cause for beatification is there's definitely a movement to get him to that first stage of beatification. But he was a priest, like you said, right up there in your area. I was able to visit. What is it? Our Lady of Victory? Is that where he is?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. I remember Debbie and I had made a lot of trips to Buffalo for pledge drives and things, and had a chance to go and pray there at that church. So you got a beautiful intercessor right there as well. And thank you so much. God bless you we'll be praying for that leg wound to heal.
And as you just said that, Saint Charbel came to mind. Saint Charbel is very active right now, Anne. So, get a group around you, but get that leg healed, okay?
Thank you very much. Thank you for all you do.
All right, we're praying. 833-288-3986. Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you. We are live today. It is a Thursday episode of the program, and we're asking you, who is it that you trust the most and why? We hope that you would say Jesus first, of course, God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, Our Lady, St. Joseph, patron saints, but also, is there a friend, a spouse, a coworker, a neighbor, someone that you do really, you can put that confidence in and you trust the most on this planet? 833-288-3986. Please join us.
Want to be notified when Take Two with Jerry and Debbie goes live on Facebook? Follow EWTN Radio's Facebook page and click the bell icon to be notified.
The most original Catholic content is on EWTN Radio.
This is Father Joseph Mary. This week on the Catholic Sphere, my panelists include Father Maurice Ashley Agbo Ebai, Father Valentine Ehianacho, and George Warncar discussing the history, growth, and challenges of the Catholic Church in Africa.
The Catholic Sphere, Sunday afternoon, 2:30 Eastern on EWTN Radio.
This is Life Issues with Brad Mattis, president of Life Issues Institute.
Independent presidential candidate Robert Kennedy got into hot water saying he supported abortion, quote, even if it's full term. Now he's backtracking on that statement, saying there are actually a huge amount of elective abortions at that time. In the 9th month, you're basically killing a child, right? He's right. But they're also killing a child in the 7th week or any time after fertilization. Kennedy's comments are important because he acknowledged the huge number of late-term abortions in America. Here's the thing. Every pro-abortion candidate should be made accountable. Ask them if there's any time during pregnancy they think an unborn child should be protected. The more we shine a light on the reality of abortion, the more babies we save.
Follow us on Facebook at Life Issues Institute and stay informed, more informed than you've ever been.
Matt Swaim here. Tomorrow on the Sunrise Morning Show, we'll preview the Mass readings for Pentecost Sunday with Father Jonathan Duncan and Father Hezekiah Carnazzo, plus news, weather, sports, and more. Now back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Who do you trust the most and why? That's what we're asking today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Please call us. There's room for you. There's still time for you to get in on this wonderful broadcast. So, like I always say, but we have new listeners each and every time we come on air with you guys. 833-288-3986 is the number, and you don't have to be Catholic to call in. That's what I say all the time, several times a show, because, Jerry, as you know, we get new listeners, we have first-time callers, but that's the number, and you don't have to be Catholic to call in. You're welcome. We're friendly. Call us, 833-288-3986. And, Jerry, before we get back to the phones, I'm going to add to my list, because you asked, I asked you who you trust, you asked me. Well, I'm going to add to the list because this prompted me. Of course, I trust God above all. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And then, mentioned my mom who passed, my family. I trust them. I trust, obviously, Marty. Marty's amazing, my husband. And I definitely trust the angels and saints. And I trust my wonderful, dear friends that I have had for so many years. I always mention Kristen. We've been friends since we were babies. Literally, I was 6 months old and she was a little bit older than me. And it's amazing. And all of the friends that I grew up with in New Jersey, and I still am friends with them, and the ones I made in Arizona when I became an adult, it's incredible. God has blessed me with friends that actually are family to me.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Oh, and I trust the Take Two family.
Yeah, of course.
I trust everybody. I'm a very trusting person. Anyway, but go ahead.
Well, we had Raphael, you were on the line there, and you were going to talk about your spouse of 60 years that you trust in. So feel free to call us back. We'll hold that line open for you, Raphael, if you'd like, because we were going to go to you next, 833-288-3986. So in the meantime, let's go to Daniel in Boston, listening on the Station of the Cross. Hi, Daniel. Welcome to the program. Daniel, are you there? I know we can hear you.
Hello, Jerry and Debbie.
Hi, Daniel. Welcome.
Thank you. Debbie, speaking of Italian, I had an absolutely fabulous psychologist of Italian descent for many, many years. He primarily worked with people going into and leaving the clergyhood, which I was thinking of doing at that time, and is how we met. He saw me through a horrible divorce, which was an attempt on my life. And over time, gradually, over years, I was with him for like 23 years. I don't know if I needed to be with him for 23 years, but I knew that was the only way that I would be able to have some kind of a relationship, quote-unquote friendship with the guy. And over time, I became addicted. I hid my addiction from him. And I always felt like, well, I'm not that bad yet. Kind of like St. Augustine. When I really need help, he will be there. Well, he was until he wasn't one day when he passed away very unexpectedly at 63. All of his clients were devastated. And, of course, I knew nowhere to go as far as recovery goes and all of that. I have since found my way into recovery and have a fabulous sponsor who has decades of sobriety, changed his life around, much like St. Augustine, has a fabulous job, a fiance, a beautiful home, and spends much of his time in recovery work, helping other addicts, and spends much of his disposable income on that. And, is not too humble. If someone is moving, he is right there helping them move. And, his attitude is, what can he give back to God for the gift of recovery? And so that is someone that I trust now. I just want to say one thing about addiction. I got into it. I had heard people saying that the particular substance, they became addicted from the very first sample. And, the time that I sampled it, and then nothing happened, and I said, oh, okay, well, some people can handle alcohol, and some people can't, and I guess I can handle this substance. Well, it happens over time, over a very slow period of time. So if anyone out there has the same attitude or thinks that they are in caution them otherwise.
Right.
And Jerry, as far as the humans that I trust the most, that would be the people who exhibit the most Jesus-like qualities to me. I did have several dreams, and I still do, of this psychologist. And at one point, and early in recovery, I had the same type of dream as your previous caller, that he came back and he was giving me a hug and told me everything would be all right. And it has worked out that way. And that is the end of my share. Thank you very much.
Wow. Daniel, thank you so much for imparting so much of your journey with us. We appreciate it. I just have one quick question and comment. The question is, Daniel, you you seem like a person that has really reflected on so much that you've been through, and you've gained a lot of understanding and wisdom, but there's a real sense of deep gratitude in your words that you're using. Would you say that came out of all the tough times that you have gone through? That's the question. The comment, I would say, Daniel, I love your disposition. It's very calming, and I think you have so much to share with others about what you have gone through, so that you can help them, so they don't have to go through the same kinds of things. And I think that's important that we do that when we go through a lot. That to teach and to preach and to help and to assist others is really what we're called to do as Christians. So I'm just curious, Daniel. You it seems like it wells up inside of you, because I can hear it through your words. Am I on that? Or is that just something that you were sharing this morning?
I think you are right on target. The gratitude, for me, that is a two-sided coin. I am very grateful for anyone. You know, in my second grade report card, we were marked on, quote, give and receive criticism gracefully, unquote. I am always grateful to anyone who will, how do I say this, tactfully correct me or tactfully educate me. So, yes, I am full of gratitude to these two people. The other side of that coin is I can get very bitter at things that I hear now and say, oh, too bad I didn't know that 40 years ago. But I'm sure I am not alone at all with that one.
Yeah. Well, you know, I echo everything that Debbie said. You've got a wonderful disposition, Daniel, and like you said, being able to be grateful for even, you know, constructive criticism is a great gift, because I think a lot of people are very, you know, overly sensitive to things like that nowadays, or at least maybe we don't know how to charitably, you know, give that kind of, criticism to other people in a constructive way. So, yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate
Beautiful.
Great call. Yeah, this is definitely a home run call for our topic today. Thank you, Daniel, there in Boston. Keep listening to the Station of the Cross and call into the program anytime. That'll open up a phone line there, 833-288-3986. You have to have someone you trust the most in this world. Tell us a little bit about that person. Who is that for you? 833-288-3986.
And we did have some calls from Texas and Florida. If you'd like to call back, please do so, because Matt is waiting to answer your call and put you at the front of the line, because you were holding, and we want to make sure we give you the time to get on air with us to share about the people you trust in your life. It's very important what you have to say here on Take Two. This is as far as I know, Jerry, this is the only platform on Catholic media this far and wide internationally, right, that goes worldwide, that we, the lay faithful, come together and we share our lived experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I was looking through, we had one of the prayer intentions that came in. Somebody made a comment about, you know, the show is unlike any other show that they listen to. So we try and be unique. We try and be different. Every show is fantastic on EWTN, and we just try and give you, the Take Two family, this is your platform, really. So we hope that you will use that, take advantage of this opportunity, really to tell the whole world about someone that is just a really blessed part of your life that you trust in very, very much. 833-288-3986.
Okay, we'll go to Rhonda in Biloxi, Mississippi, listening on Sirius XM 130. Hi, Rhonda.
Hi, how are you?
Great. Now that you called, thank you so much. Take it away.
Well, I was just calling. You had a caller who was saying that she had a sore that was not able to heal for her. And I just wanted to offer, I also have a struggle that I'm dealing with in life right now as a postmenopausal woman. And although I gave the Father Delindo Surrender novena to many people, I had actually never used it for myself. And I pulled it out a couple of days ago, and the comfort that it has brought to just release everything to Jesus' care, completely surrender. And I was thinking this might be a good idea for her too, as well as guardian angels and relics from the saints, just completely to hand everything over to Jesus, and just for her own peace of mind to just forget about it.
Right, right. Well, we hope Ann in Buffalo, New York, that's what the call you're referencing, that Ann called in. And Ann, I hope you're listening to Rhonda. Jerry and I so agree. Father Delindo Rutolo, we love the Surrender Novena. He was a contemporary, Ann, if you're listening, of Padre Pio. So there's the connection right there. Don't you love that, Rhonda? See the connection, how God connects all the dots?
Yes, as well as also asking Padre Pio's guardian angel to come and help. Another, not our own guardian angel, but just having Padre Pio's guardian angel coming over to give us assistance is wonderful too. But yes, I love the connection very much, Debbie.
Yeah.
Yes.
We absolutely, definitely love that Surrender Novena, like Debbie was saying. And for those not familiar with it, please, Rhonda is drawing something to our attention here that's very, very important and very beautiful. And I say it every day, Debbie, I know you do. The Surrender Novena includes multiple times you say, Jesus, you take care of everything. And that's a place where we all want to try to get to. It's difficult sometimes. We want to control things. But if we say, Jesus, you take care of everything, you end up, Debbie, I know how many times have we prayed those prayers, you and Marty and myself, and, a situation has worked itself out. And you say, well, Jesus, you did take care of it. So.
Absolutely. More. I mean, so many times we've lost count. That's how many times. And it really is because God wants us to completely trust him. And when we do that, we show a tremendous amount of love, and it brings delight to him, because he realizes, he knows then that we realize that we recognize his magnificence, his strength, his power, that he is our God. And that it's just a beautiful connection and relationship. So Father Delindo Rutolo, he nailed it. He absolutely nailed it. And if we all practice it, we would actually live a much better, joy-filled lives, I think. So Rhonda, another home run. That was excellent. Thank you so much for reminding us. As a matter of fact, Charles Beery, our producer, if you could post on Jerry and Debbie Facebook page, post the link to Father Delindo Rutolo's Surrender Novena. And a lot of people, see, Charles is right on top of it, Rhonda. See what you started, Rhonda? You're going to get a lot of people doing the Surrender Novena. What do you think?
I think Jesus started it, Debbie.
True, but he worked through you.
Amen to that. I can only try.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rhonda. Have a blessed day. We're so grateful for you listening and calling the program from Mississippi there. 833-288-3986. Who do you trust the most and why? And hopefully you can trust me to tell you about EWTN's Solemn Mass of Pentecost broadcast. Coming up this Sunday, Pope Francis, it's at 4 a.m. Eastern Time on EWTN Radio and Television. Pope Francis celebrates the Solemn Mass of Pentecost live from St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, followed by the Regina Caeli. For all of your special event broadcasts, including mass broadcasts, keep your radio or TV tuned to EWTN.
Okay, so I love the Take Two family. You guys crack me up. So I just got a message come in. A post came in and said, "Do you and Jerry trust each other?" Okay, so here's the answer to that, folks. We've been working together since 2010. Leaning on each other as co-hosts of pledge drives and almost 9 years of Take Two. Of course we trust each other, right, Jerry?
Absolutely, yeah.
Of course we trust each other.
Wouldn't have lasted this long in ministry together if we didn't.
Exactly. And we really like each other. We're really friends. So, sometimes you get co-hosts. I've heard this story, which is kind of sad. I've heard stories of co-hosts that don't really care for each other. That's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. That takes a lot of acting, a lot of make-believe when they're on the air, I guess. Wow.
True.
Okay. I'm talking about who do you trust the most and why. Angel in Albany, Georgia is next, listening on WTOA. Angel, welcome to the broadcast.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. 72 degrees, sunshiny, loving it.
Good deal.
Very nice. Well, go right ahead, Angel. I love your name.
Well, thank you very much. You can thank my aunt for that.
Okay.
when I was born, somebody asked her if she thought I was cute, and she said, "Oh, she's a little angel," as the name just stuck.
Oh, wow.
I know.
I love the way names, rise like that. Go ahead.
The person that I trust most in my life is my pastor, Father Ray Levereau. He should be a poster child for the priesthood. He is the epitome of what you expect a pastor to be. He has given his life to God and to his sheep. And he's not only a good priest, but he is a seriously hardworking man. We have a school attached to our parish. So during the summer, you'll find him over there waxing floors and installing new fluorescent lights and whatever needs to be done. So he's just a well-rounded, all-around great priest in person. And he's a good friend.
Awesome. Wow, you've just said several beautiful things about Father Ray, and it's so beautiful that we can say these things about our priest. I know a lot of us feel the same way, Angel, that we know priests who you said could be like the poster priest, if you will. And, I always say, I think the highest compliment we can give a priest is just to say he's a good priest. And what I mean by that is, a lot of people say he's a great homilist or a great confessor or a great this and that. Priests have their unique specialties. But I think, even myself, Angel, you probably know I'm back in formation for the priesthood. If I, God willing, become a priest someday, all I would want people to say is he was a good priest, meaning, you live that vocation out. A holy priest, a sacrificial priest. And Angel, it sounds like Father Ray is exactly that type of priest. So,
yeah,
he absolutely is.
Can, Angel, real quickly, as you were talking about Father Ray, would you please let him know that I put him in the book, because we always pray for all priests, but when our Take Two family brings to our attention, when they want to highlight a certain clergy, we put him in the book. So we'll be praying for his continued beautiful ministry, because obviously he's having a huge effect on all of the people that he cares for, like yourself. So that is wonderful. But Angel, real quickly, as you were sharing about Father, it got me thinking. It just jogged my memory. I went way back down memory lane about, oh my goodness, like 15 years ago. I will never forget it. I was working at the parish, and we were all waiting for our bishop to show up. And at the time, it was Bishop Thomas Olmsted of the Diocese of Phoenix. He's now retired. And we were all waiting for him to show up. And everybody was, all the staff was like, "Where is Bishop? Where is Bishop? Where is Bishop?" And we were waiting for hours, and everybody's going, "Where is Bishop Olmsted?" And one of the parishioners came walking into the office and said, "He's been in the chapel at the Adoration Chapel for hours." Hours. Oh, wow. He was sitting there, kneeling, and then parishioners were just like blown away at how it was like he just couldn't wait to get to the chapel and be in front of our Lord.
Yeah. That sounds like Father Ray.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful? I know, when you hear stories like that, you just made me think of that, and I just love that. What do you think of that, Jerry? Because you're in formation now. That must really hit you deeply.
Yeah, well, I know the holiness of Bishop Olmsted that you're referring to there, and yeah, for every one of us, really, prayer is like oxygen. It is to the soul what oxygen is to the body, but definitely for a priest, priests, have to do. I know a number of priests who do a holy hour in the morning and a holy hour in the evening, and those are sometimes the only things that really sustain them. We need to pray for our priests' protection from attacks of the evil one, and just for their strength and encourage them as much as we can. And Angel, you have done that today so much. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you, and thank you for putting him in your book.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, thank you. And please thank Father for for saying yes to his vocation, Angel. Next time you see him, you said he's a friend of yours, so I'm sure you get to see him often.
I try to. We live kind of across the street from each other, so I just saw him taking his trash can out to the alley. So.
Well, tell him you were on air to the whole world, telling everybody about his priesthood.
I got a quick question, Angel. Do you ever take him make dinner for him, or take him meals or anything?
Actually, yeah. Believe it or not, every Saturday night after the Saturday Vigil Mass, he goes with me and my family. We go out to eat.
Oh,
and so yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
I just had a feeling you had that kind of relationship with him. God bless you for doing that, Angel.
Yeah. Thank you, Angel.
Yeah, because
Wow.
living in a rectory right now with 2 priests, I can tell you the time that they have available to cook is not ample. I should put it that way. But we do have people who bring some meals to the rectory here, so that's a real blessing.
Home cooked meals?
Yeah, home cooked.
Oh, that's
yes,
good. That's
absolutely.
Good. Yeah. Okay, we're going to get to Ellen next. Ellen, hold on. I want to just share from YouTube. Jennifer said, I have been blessed with an earthly father who has been a lighthouse, leading by example the importance of a personal relationship with Christ, the eternal light, and worthy of all my love and trust. Wow, Jennifer, that is a big testament to your dad. That's incredible. I love that. Ellen is up next, and she'll be our final caller for today. So Ellen in North Central Ohio on Annunciation Radio. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I hope I can get through this. My trust went to my husband who had passed away May 6th in 2017. So it's been 7 years. But this is so strange because I was just thinking about this last night. We were really soulmates. We were from 2 different places, but we met. And he was actually we were a week apart on our birth dates. His mother and my mother were just 1 day apart in birth. And then his father died when he was 16, and his father was 52. My father died when I was 16. And he was only 53.
Wow.
The things I was thinking about last night was I came from a very good family, and I knew I was loved. But my husband, his family was a broken family. He was only 2 years old when his father married again, someone else, and never really got a relationship with his father, and I feel like I'm a soulmate of his, and I've been trying to help him. I know when I go to adoration, it's that feeling that you look at Christ, and also your loved one on the other side is looking at Christ at the same time, and you're the closest at that point in time. And I just pray that he can reconcile with his father. It was a father wound that he bore all his life. And I happened to be looking on genealogy and found an obituary of his father. And I can't tell you how many years I've been trying to locate where he was buried. And I had hoped that we could go visit his grave and maybe bring some healing. That never happened, but it did last night. And when I was reading the obituary, it named his previous wife and her daughters. He never even mentioned my husband as his son. Mm-hmm. And I felt, how sad. Well, he didn't write the obituary, but it was that way. There was a rift in the family. And is there some way I could help heal him across this divide that we have now, his being in death and my still being here?
Sure. You hear that music, Ellen, we're closing the show, but yes, absolutely. Do what you're doing. Don't stop. Go to adoration. I had a similar situation. I actually had healing and closure with my own father, who I didn't know, after he had passed away, just through the spiritual connection. He died. He was away from the church for decades. He died with the sacraments, and I know that your husband and his father. You can pray for that. God can make right anything that we made wrong in our lives, and God is the one who provides healing. He's outside of time and space, Helen, so God can go back in time and provide healing and grace and comfort and peace into those relationships. So keep praying for your husband. We're going to add him to our prayer book, and you as well, Ellen. Thank you so much for the call. Folks, great broadcast as always. St. Simon Stock, pray for us. Great job by the show team. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. God bless. Do you have some major decisions to make in your life? Are you feeling lost and alone? Not sure what path to take? Life coaching just may be the right option for you. Whether it's to practice accountability,